to see you here. Good afternoon, brothers, sisters, kings, queens. I want to welcome you to the new People's News and Information Network, hosted by myself, Smith-Bey. You can find us on BNN 247. Still, I haven't changed the name. And you can find us on Facebook at The War Report, as well as Smith-Bey. I'm here today to talk about some things that I think in our faces all the time, and we choose people, we choose here to ignore what's happening here. In order for us to get to the bottom of what's going on in America, we're going to have to do more than what we've been doing. And you know, I say this because I know we say it, people say it all the time, that these things happen all over the country and it doesn't affect me, it doesn't affect my household. I got to make my money, I'm going to stay on my job, keep doing what I do, and ignore all the other stuff going on around the country, which is where the problem is. We got to focus. But I want to take you back to maybe 2 years ago, when in Texas, they really put emphasis on what they call the CRT. The CRT being the critical race theory. Now, this is a stipulation that was placed on teachers and people inside of the public school education. This information gave the teachers an ultimatum. If you decide to talk about the atrocities of slavery, then we will fire your ass. You got to go. And it stood. Nobody protested. And what I'm seeing is, I'm wondering why, in all the atrocities and the neglect and the disrespectful things that have been done to a people in the USA, we don't have more and more and more people fighting for the equality or better position in this country. Granted, I hope you know, and I hope everybody that may be in the range of my voice know that nothing will be done to enhance our lifestyle by them. And I don't have to be very specific with what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, whatever they have promised, whatever they have put laws into effect on, it's only for show. There is no way that America will be here for you. It's you against the world. And whoever wrote that song many, many years ago told the truth. They told the truth, because it is basic corn. It is a situation where we are existing in this country, and if you don't take initiative yourself and stand up for who you are and what you are and where you stand, and your kids and your grandparents and your ancestors, if you're not standing up to represent all these people, then what are you actually doing here other than just making enough money to survive? Now, keep in mind, they never have paid Black people enough money to do more than what they need to do next week. What does that mean? That means that, you know, it's difficult to live off $15 a day, and you working 40 hours. That's not enough money to sustain your family that's growing. You may have a child on the way, you may have 2 children at home, you may have no children. Whatever the case is, that amount of money that they're paying you right now ain't enough money for you to survive with, or you gonna survive, but it's not enough money for you to prosper with your life. And you hear this all the time. Prosperity is in the church and everywhere else, but every time you go to the church, you leave there a little bit lighter. And I don't mean in complexion. I mean in your pocket. Because the objective right now is money. Tell me one thing that these people have told you over the course of your life, your parents' life, and their parents' life, and their parents' life. Tell me the one thing they have done in your favor to help you. Okay, first thing you want to come up with is the 14th Amendment, right? The 14th Amendment is nothing more than a supplement to the Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment already tells you that you are an American, if you are in this country and you're born here, that you are a citizen. But now there's a question about birthright citizenship and all this other stuff going on with our political system. There's a lot going on, G. Smith, Linda. I'm telling you, it's so much going on that we have to do something on our own in order for it to change. Now, what am I talking about? I started with the critical race theory, where they refuse your history to be told in public school systems. That's all it was. They refuse to hear the atrocities that they committed against our people in the public school system. Now, there's some alternatives to going to public school. And if you will fall under this doctrine of critical race theory, you're going to stay in the public school system. But I encourage you, and I really wish you would allow those public school systems to be shut down, because it's only about the people in their position. You know, they go through this big ceremony every year where they graduate so many seniors from so many different high schools, and we go through all the hoopla to get it done because we want to see our child flourish through this politically aimed system. And it's all about show. It ain't about the kid having an education. The kid gonna graduate as long as his attendance is good. Keep that attendance up, they will graduate. But that is not what it's all about. What are you supposed to be doing for 12 years in the public school system? What are you doing in those 12 years? You're supposed to be honing your skills. Now, see, they had a different method, a different reason for creating the 12-year school system than we have. Our objective was to learn how to read, write, and arithmetic. That's what we want to do. Reading, writing, and arithmetic. The 3 R's. I know it ain't hard to understand the 3 R's. That's what we went in there to do. But now they're putting the stipulation on it. Too many Black people are getting diplomas through high school with information about their past, and then they're acting on it, and they don't want you to act on it. So what do? They create critical race theory. And now you cannot learn about your past and your history in public school system. There are so many charter schools out there that I would remove each and every one of you Black people to put yourself in a charter school, because you still get the same amount of funding in a charter school that you would get in a public school system. The public school system is not geared for Black people. The United States is not geared for Black people. It's our objective to take what we've learned in this country and apply it for our culture. I mean, it's so hard. I'm going to Greenwood every year up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it's celebration. And you still see the denial of payment to people who they write that city down to the ground. They tore it up. And the reason for Tulsa Mac is still a priority here. It's still on top of the list. It's one of the biggest atrocities committed by this country, is because people from that area are still fighting for compensation for the destruction that they did. And they not only tore up that community, this government comes through our communities and they destroy individual families. Individual families. How else will you get the big picture? You start with one brick at a time. And that's what they've done back in the 60s, back in the 50s. They started with one brick at a time. One woman coming into the courthouse to sign these documents saying that no man will be living in my house, and you going to give me a paycheck to keep a man out of my house. That's exactly what they did. They gave women a paycheck to keep the man from staying in the house. In other words, you remove the father figure from the home. Now, God had it planned. It's still planned. You got a man, you got a woman, and you got children. Now, anything else is extra. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying it's extra. But the basics of the Bible in America is the man, husband, and wife, and child. That is the concept that we understood for time on end, hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of times. It's been a long time since this has been an issue. Today, how many children are in our school system with one parent? And that one parent is not because that other parent is not alive. It's because that other parent is not one in that relationship. Now, if you're savvy enough to have a child, then you should be savvy enough to understand that it should take a man and a woman to raise that child. But most people don't understand it. Not most people, lots of people don't understand that the reason our children, our boys right now, are firing at each other, unaliving each other, is because there is no adult male in their lifestyle to tell them different. That this is not the way, my young brother. This is not the way. And how do you get our young brothers to understand that? I mean, it ain't simple. It ain't easy. And most men act like they don't have time to spend bringing these young brothers up. They got things like boys club or tutoring boys, these little things that they do around the community. That's less than 1% of everything that has to be done here in America for our people. It's a bad situation. Our objective here at the People's Information and News Network or news show is to bring the truth to our cultural power, because there is a cultural power here, and what I plan to talk about today is going to kind of zero in on where we need to go. And I hope that you listen, and I hope that you can pick up one thing from what I'm saying today and use it in your day-to-day life. It's also an inspiration for me to be here to talk to you about my thoughts on what's going on in America. You know, I started with critical race theory, but that was just to give you an idea of why I want to talk about things that we're talking about. We got to fight. We got to fight. It's boiled down to there's no more compromising our position in this. If you don't realize by now who you are and where you stand, then you are walking around unwoke. And that's the big thing. You're unwoke right now. Because if you were woke, you would know that these Chinese, these Mexicans, Hispanics, these white folks, they all have a reason to not like you as an African American, or as a black, or as a Moor. And as you know, Moors are not only Africans, they come from all over the world. I agree with you too, Gene. Thank you for agreeing. You can elaborate a little bit more. Maybe we can talk about it. But this, if we don't stand up and fight right now, we might as well just lay down in front of the bulldozer, because that's exactly what's happening right now. We had the Ku Klux Klan all these supremacist groups that were fighting against black people. And now we got Chinese fighting against black people, which they have always fought against black people, and we have always supported them. We got Chinese right now, got the audacity to go on public media and say black people cannot survive without us. And if you really look at it, they're telling the damn truth. We are so damn gullible when it comes to where we spend our money. We want to be the big ball. We want to be the good looking. We want to have the longest nails, prettiest nail job, cleanest feet. And they'll scrub our feet, but then underneath their breath, they're saying, look at these so and so coming in here, spending their money. And they're talking about you at the same time. And you're steady trolling these places. You're trolling the nail shop. You're trolling the Chinese restaurant. I mean, why would you go in there and eat Chinese food from a Chinese restaurant in the hood when you know that they eat dogs and cats? And probably rats too. They sell rats at the grocery store. Many of us have had the opportunity to travel overseas and to see what's inside the stores. Now, I've seen dogs with one foot left. I've seen these things, and people eat these things. What makes you think they come over here and don't do it? You notice there's no stray dogs in the neighborhood because they all on your plate. If you're buying Chinese food, you're eating food that you have no idea what it is, because everything you find in a Chinese restaurant is covered in some kind of flavor, some kind of crust. Yeah, even Panda Express, all these places, you can't trust the food anymore. The hamburger meat is part human meat. You have no idea what you're eating. If you're gonna eat, try and grow you something. You gotta eat, grow you something. But stop buying this stuff when you know that these people can be the death of you. At one time, we didn't have a problem we didn't have the type of health issues that we had 50 years ago. And we didn't have these problems because they did not have the knowledge or the skill set to add all these additives or growth hormones to the food that they feed you. You think about it, everywhere you go, there's every place you go, they got chicken. Everywhere you go, they got chicken. How many chickens a day must be slaughtered in order to fill these 1 million or billion restaurants in this country? Everybody goes chicken. Everybody says. CRT, cultural, critical race theory, DEI, diversity, equality, inclusion. What was wrong with affirmative action? First of all, they wiped the slate clean on that, so because it felt like we were discriminating against white people because we had an edge that was never given to us. The edge was only based on the law, and the law said that black people had to get this amount of people have to get. Now you look at any government office, it could be totally white. You might have one black working in the mailroom or in the supply room. They are not going to give black people upper level management positions. The only way you're going to get those positions is you're going to have to fight for them. And if you think that any white-owned business in America is going to give you an award or bonus because you work there, you got it. If you are not going out asking for what you're worth, if you think you're only worth, it's affirmative action was racist. That's BS that I ever heard. How can you say for a race of people that you held in bondage for 400 years plus, and then you allow them to come out free and you expect them to function at the same level. You done had a 400-year start. It's a thing. You're probably a marginal Caucasian person who have not had the beautiful advantages of most of your constituents. So I can see why you would say affirmative action is racist. It's not. I didn't hold anyone back. No, you didn't, man. It ain't you individually, it's the system. Everything has a level of racism in it. And it's not because of us, it's because of you. You bring that to the table, not us. We come there looking for an honest, working living and a piece of the same pie that you've been eating for 400 years before I even had a chance to take a bite. When I finally get a bite, I had to get it because of affirmative action, because there had to be a law in place. Why would they even think that there needs to be a law? What's up, Michael Jordan? Thank you. I appreciate that. Greetings to you. I've worked for everything you say the white man did. Look, same here. I've worked for everything too. I'm not. See, don't take it personal. This thing. It's about the system. The system is designed for certain elements of society to be in a certain place. Why is it that there are neighborhoods today that don't allow Black people to live there? I mean, you're an individual, you did what you had to do. I'm an individual, I do what I have to do. But the bottom line is there are millions of people out there, Black people, that have the potential, the skill set, and the knowledge to go to different levels of management, leadership, ownership, but they'll never get that opportunity because of one reason, and that's their skin. And that's what you're missing. You think that you and I can walk up to a place to get a job at the same time and that I'll have an equal chance as you. Now, why would the white business give the Black man the job unless there was a law forcing him to? He's going to give it to the white man. Name one thing a white person can do and a Black person can't legally. We can do more. We've done more. I mean, we've invented, done things. So I mean, everything that you got right now, 9 out of 10 of those things were built or done by a Black person. You didn't do very much anything. You just reaped the benefit. You came in with this doctrine from the Vatican that gave you the right to take over other people's stuff and make it yours. And you make it yours by first coming into a society with the legality of you taking it, saying it was legal for you to take it, but now nobody else can take it. It's pretty sad, but that's how it works. That's how it works. Affirmative action is necessary, and it's still necessary because people at the top will never see the quality and the skill set of the Black person. Even if you're the one who designed the heart transplant, and you had to come in as a steward in order to do the heart transplant because the actual person who never received the credit didn't know how to do it. You know about that. I don't know the class, but DEI, now you're going to a point where you want to push everything down and make it look like the white person that's been the one who's been cheated. All this other stuff. How can you be cheated when you worked the dog doo-doo out of people and gave them no compensation whatsoever? You compensated everything. I mean, we are the ones who know how to cultivate. We're the ones who think it. We're the ones who build it. You're the one who see the money. The only thing you do is see the money. We do all 100% of the labor intensive field, bringing it to the public. But we get nothing. We invented cotton. I can tell you that one. Eli Whitney, another Black man. We invented cotton gin so you as a white man can flourish in the field of cotton. So you made it so that these people can make all this money. And it ain't our fault if we don't own it. If we got to fight for it, then we rather say, well, we'd rather just get along. Just like Rodney King said, can we all just get along? If all you say is true, I'm being Obama and killing it, being black. See, you give out these things that help black people, right? You put this in place, whether the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, Voting Rights Amendment, 15th Amendment, I think. And what you did when you did that is you gave us all these rights, and now that we got these rights, we executed those rights and used those rights, and we will. That's how corrupt. But at the same time, now you go to calling the voter rolls. You got this. You'll give an inch and take a mile. That's what you do. Now you call the voter rolls and you remove millions of people, and then you put new stipulations on voting rights, and then you redraw the zones of where the constituent has a campaign. You create problems that don't even exist until you put your finger in it. It's all good until you get involved. That's because it is our land. Oh man, that is so unique. I love that one. He says it's because it's his land. In 1540, the Spanish came through thinking they came through Tuscaloosa, Alabama. They came through the Spanish came through in 1540 thinking they could come through their land. But these Spaniards ran up on the Tuscaloosa with the king at the time in that area. I don't know the whole story, but I do know they got shut down and got sent back. That's why the French had possession of Louisiana Purchase or whatever. But the point is, you did not own the land. The land was owned prior to you. You came here and wrote in the document saying that you owned the land, but somebody was already here. You were not the first one here. And that's what the problem is. You take somebody's stuff and then make it legal for you to have it. And you've done that time and time again. There's a strategy. There's a model to conquering other countries. If you look back in time, I can't explain it to you. If you don't know by now, you will never know. And you know, nobody, American Indians, Stewart, and who you think the American Indians are, dummy? Those are us. We're the American Indians. Once you gave us that name through who this person called Walter Plecker. And Walter Plecker gave us the name Indian because he didn't want us to be so he made it so if you were anything other than white, you are colored. That's why everybody started calling us colored. Everyone in the continent of Africa knows you're African. So you're African too, to be honest with you. But the difference between me and you is I got hair and you got hair. Well, I don't mean to talk about it, but I'm just saying. Let me go back to what but I'm not going to listen. You're African people, even if your skin is African. Even if your skin is yellow, you're white, you're African. Everyone is not from that. Where they from then? I ain't even going to tell you. Our dollar goes to waste. That is what my point is. Our dollars go to waste. And they go to waste because we have yet to figure out how to keep a dollar in our community. And it can start by some very simple. You walk in a place and then you turn around and walk. If you walk in a place and you don't see a person that looks like you, turn around. And that person's got to be doing more than doing that. A little bit more than doing that. If they don't look like you, that's what it boils down to. Your money is what thrives America anyway. Black people contribute, what is it, 13 trillion? I think that's the last figure I had. It's probably more now. But the last figure I had was $13 trillion a year. And in order for us to do better, you say, I can't ignore it. You're African and just accept it. Okay. I agree. I cannot take away the fact that my origin is African. But if you watch the movie Roots, you remember how Kunta Kinte was made to say his name was Toby. The purpose of that was to take away Kinte's nationality. And that's exactly what this take away his heritage. So you sever the ties to ancestors of us, then you got us. Because we don't know where to turn. We don't know where we came from. We don't know who we are. But we do know that we are in the USA and that we're citizens in this country. And ain't nothing y'all can do about it. You can't do nothing else about it. My origins are American. Look, our dollar got to stop doing it. All I'm saying is take your knowledge out of the business that they come in your communities, they set up shop, and we flock to them like we do. And the worst of the worst is what I see is that there's no way these stores are set up for anybody other than black people. They have every kind of comb, every kind of wig, every kind of hair, every kind of brush, every kind of appointment built for hair. Why would you allow yourself to continue to try and make yourself in the competitive position? You're already beautiful, but you're really not beautiful when you start adding on additional things to your life. You don't have to have hair down. You don't have to have fingernails with beautiful designs. You can do your own feet at home. What does black mean according to the government and the Office of Management? I read that before. I'm glad you asked. Yours, 86. It's not, black is not a recognized. That's the issue. That's what it says. It is not a recognized nationality, but it is a assigned nationality. It's an assigned color of people. And it's used on almost every form, even in the federal government, because our people have not taken the initiative to shut that down. We are accepting of any new name for a kid. Like in 1982, when Jesse Jackson came out with African American, we loved it. And we took it and ran with it. Everybody was African American. You were African before you were American. So if anything, you were American African. The last name. What about American Indians? I mean, what about them? We don't deny that there are Indians. There are American Indians. Indians. I don't know if you're Indians from where? India got the population on the planet. Who says that they didn't migrate here? We intermixed with people, millions of people that were here before the Indians. If you want to really go back in history, let's go back all the way to okay, listen, I'm sorry to keep going back to I'm talking Walter Plecker created the official basis of American. And Walter Plecker said, you're going to be right or you're going to be right or you're going to be left. Not even an Indian. And he did that to take away the titles that we held, what we called ourselves. Choctaws, Chickasaws, the Seminoles. He took away all of that and said, "You are color." He took it away. And this is another white man who had a racist agenda, who wanted to make sure that you could get nowhere in this country unless they allowed. An Indian was an Indian until a race was created by Melville. Yeah, you're right. Before Plecker. And you know what? I wrote about that in one of my papers. But if you want to go that deep, I'd have to pull out some notes. But Walter Plecker is the most recent change when it comes to identifying who you are in race. Yes, I know about the Sherwood. I know about her shirt, but I don't have that information. But I do know about Walter Plecker being the last person to create the vision. And he did it out of racism. We're not the ones that's your enemy. You're jealous of us and you hate us because we are so successful at coming from slavery to the level of progress we're at. There's no way in any other race that we are the BOD. And it's not me sitting there saying that. You look around. Look at the things that you use every day. Look at your cell phone. We did it. Black excellence. Not me, but our culture. And the purpose of my is to promote our culture. Because there's nothing you or anybody else can say that can change what reality is. And reality tells you that we're better. We are the people who keep this. And if it wasn't, you'd be a lot from where you are right now. Everything we've done, we take it and it's awesome. You know, it's not. I don't think it's our fault that we don't own anything. I think it's our fault that we don't own anything because we haven't fought for it. We're not the ones who want to fight for everything, steal everything, take everything, and have it under our paper. We're the ones who make life easier, make life better, and create issues to promote mankind. Not white mankind, but all mankind. But see, you are so concerned with us being better than you and being in front of you that you will hurt your own people to hurt us. And that's what you do. And we were never slaves. Constitution's model. And you coming up with all kind of, you coming up with good history, your things. I have to go back and look from you because I love what your research told you, but you should know that black people, so-called, we're not African-Americans. The people on this continent are here way before you came up and wrote the great law, which you said. What can you say to take law y'all follow and you're bombing people because you're afraid that they're going to a nuclear weapon attack? How many times have you used this stuff to create a weapon? I mean, this comes over and over and over. And every time we think we get somewhere with peace, there's somebody in that house. See, this was a white house. They made sure and Barack he says that he massive reconstruction team that he could walk away. But he was so mad there was a black man in the White House. We had several us. They put we renovated presidential suite. Can you call that racism? Or can you call that stupidity? Or can you call that arrogance? Which one is it? We've been lied to a long time. And the only way we're going to change this is to fight for it. I mean, I don't mean to just say, I stand for peace. I mean to say, I ain't letting you get away with nothing. Look at what's just happened in, what is this? In Columbia, South Carolina. In Columbia, South Carolina. In Columbia, South Carolina, the Chinese man who had just killed her, he died. I mean, he didn't. He got let off the house or whatever, and they didn't prosecute him. But he shot this 14-year-old boy in the back. It's happened too many times in too many places. Like your people. And see, Chinese think that they're white. You cannot unsee what it is. And if you are acting as if you don't know what has happened here in America, sincerely yours, if you don't know what has happened here in America, sincerely yours, I don't know. You cannot unsee what's been done. And it's not. We got to stop disclaiming our feelings about how we feel about it. Because you are the one that caused us these issues. We didn't cause all the issues that we have ourselves. You know, if you would just leave us alone, let us do what we want to do, which is going to be the righteous thing, then we won't have a problem. You started when you separated our families. You separated. You can't kill me with that much black man. And then you kill me hundreds of thousands of people. Boxes getting checked. Yes, we are talking about boxes getting checked. But when it comes down to it, you and I know the truth. And you can be ignorant to the facts all you want to be, but you know what the truth is. And I don't have to sit and try and explain to you what you need to be or what you need to learn. Because if you don't know by now, then obviously you ain't intending to learn from this point forward. And I can't help you. This platform is to teach you something that you don't know and not to get into a debate with you about what it should be or what it is. Because I know what it is. And I know that the only way we're going to handle this deal is to fight it. You're not going to give it up. Because why would you give up your position, right? For a black man? You will never do that. And I understand it. And I respect it. So anything I get, I realize I have to fight. Anything any black person gets should realize that they're going to have to stop turning the other cheek and stop trying to fit in because they don't fit in. You will never fit in this stuff in this country. You got to stop disclaiming your feelings. You want to say, I ain't racist or I ain't prejudiced and I love everybody. But these mofos ain't right. They are dirty. They did this. They did that. Then you come back and say, well, that's a moron in so many ways. Why would you put yourself in that kind of position to go back and forth? You know, I was saying earlier about walking into a restaurant, walking into a Chinese restaurant. You already know that how they think about black people. You've seen the little drop that they use as a stress reliever. And it's just a sad situation that you have to deal with people that disrespect the whole people. How would it be? Chinese dragging it from the and letting it feed it back from the road. So, this is the People News and Information Show. And I don't know how to keep coming at you and telling you what we should be doing. But I'm just going to say this. We know about the Chinese restaurants. We know about the Chinese hotels, Indian hotels. These people have come to America and they have found a niche. And they've all found a niche in black neighborhoods. And it's been aided and abetted and supported by the U.S. government. They have given these Asians the money to put these establishments in our communities so they can take our money. But you notice there's only one family of Asians in your community or one family of Indians in your community doing well. You don't know the rest. And then you walk, every time you walk in a hotel, if you do, you'll see them. And every time you walk into a shell station, you're going to see Chinese or somebody that black. I guarantee you, you're going to see too many black ones. But when I tell you that, thank you all for your support, you made a black man a billion. Keep doing what you do. That's what we do. When you don't know who owns that establishment, everything seems to work out. But the moment you find out it's a black owned business, you go in there. That's what it should not be because of the. It should be because of the quality of the product that you receive. But we just not seeing that. Nail shop, stop the nail shop. Stop the hair store. The hair store is on the top of the list. A 15-year-old boy not kid by a convenience store owner. His name is Silas Arnett Bill. Can you imagine that? And then this man being acquitted. But there was one before that. Natasha, 50-year-old black girl, was police. I want to know if the Chinese guy who shot nobody knows. We haven't really known anything about that. And now they've shut the gas station down that he's on. It needs to keep going. Black people, African American people. This is the People's News and Information Network, and I'm saying to you today that you need to start spending your money. Appreciate you. You're the ones, you're the reasons these places exist. You're the reason that they can treat you the way they treat you, because they can treat the person in front of you like Dio, and then you'll still go up there and spend your money like a big A. Why would you do that? Okay, elaborate on operating out private institutions. If we had institutions, we probably could operate out institutions. But we don't own any private institutions. We've been lied to. We've been lied to so much. Just imagine how much black land is stolen from our people. Imagine how much black land is stolen from black people. With white folks that, I can take your land for you, this line right here, and because you never had an opportunity to go to school because you were working in the factory. That's all it is. The last thing I'm going to talk about today is what we have always battled. And yeah, that's pretty stuff. Right? What do we? I have no reason to fight with you. Go battle somebody your own age. Maybe. But I don't see the point in trying to fight. It's not in it. I'm just it's not going to take us to another level. And I'm good. I make it feel it's not just we watch TV shows. And I heard somebody say the other day, walk into go when you walk out of a basketball or football game and you go down to where the players exit, see how many of them are married to white women. See how many of the black ones are married to white women. And then you ask yourself the question, well, what did black women do to these black men to cause that many of them to marry white women? Maybe the white women got the recipe of who they should be getting with because they see what money is. Maybe they got sent out there. You know, we'll find out. This weaponization fund is being put on the table, and what's going to happen is the same thing happened to the weaponization fund is happening to the F. It's going to fade away and all the other areas. I'm going to name 10 different things that have occurred here in America in the last 18 months. How can you? It's almost it's a show that you watch a movie in more than 2 hours. All this stuff that's happening. So he admitted with admitting that he was grabbing fees, doing all that kind of dirty stuff. He admitted. He asked Georgia to steal about 780 votes. Steal. They didn't do it. And now Georgia's going to do this. January 6th tried to overthrow the government and then we took off the NATO before they got attacking the capital. They call it representation. And that money is to go after everybody and to help everybody that was hurt because they listened and hurt everybody who tried to fight against them. That's how the tariffs was sent out and they all went wrong. They created turmoil in America. Prices skyrocketed in the grocery store, gas station, furniture store, lumber store. Everywhere you went, prices went up, way up. And then people on Wall Street and everywhere else who keeps up with the economy plays it down as if there's nothing wrong. But there's a recession coming. And if it ain't already here, I guarantee you will suffer. And if he'll do whatever it takes to keep black people where they're supposed to be, and that may include raising gas prices up to California, $6-7. That's how they're gonna keep you. Shut down the government to get the big beautiful bill package. But there was trillions of dollars allocated for all kinds of things. We don't like what's happening here. We don't like what the federal government is doing. We don't like the state government. We definitely don't make decisions. But we always wonder why we have to sit back and relax. Because we are not getting engaged. We're gonna weather the storm and come out of it. But see, the thing is, the more you put on America, it takes you back to what happened in the 70s. You know, you can do whatever you want at the military force. That's what a lot of people have the capacity to do whatever they choose to their whoever it may be. But the bottom line is, if you do it to your senior people, then your senior people can do it to your support people. And it's things that, that's where the shooting goes. And that's right. So if you're hurting people, you're hurting more than just the ones you're targeting. You're hurting the whole culture, the whole society. And not only are the ones, like I said, you're targeting, but you're hurting everybody. So America is going down the drain trying to hurt black people. You're eventually hearing this stuff. Because we've had it, we've been through it, we've done it. We've had every type of barrier put in front of us that there is. I don't know if you can create very many more barriers. Now you're going into political barriers. We can deal with that too. You cannot stop us from succeeding, no matter what you do. So keep doing what you're doing. And I say to you, black people, if we don't start to fight more, then we can go over back in the street, and we start doing what we're doing. Because we can't win. We can't win working together. You know, we got enough people against us. We got Chinese against us, the Koreans against us, the Mexicans against us, the white folks. We're our enemies. And if we don't start to work together, eventually we'll stay our enemies. They're going to keep on with the winner. They can dispatch us one at a time. One at a time. That's all it takes. If you got 18,000 police across this country, dispatching 1 or 2 people a day, they ain't gonna take long to keep us at 12 million people. We've been at 12 million people in the next 50 years. How come our population is growing? It's not growing because we're doing the same thing we were doing 50 years ago. And they are doing the same thing we were doing 50 years ago. Culling our population. They're doing it. The grand ballroom is being built without taxpayers' money. This $50 billion plane is almost, the retrofit is almost done. So why would a country that we've been at war with give our president a plane? Is it his plane or is it the government? Now that the government went through and retrofitted it for its use, I mean, technology is so slick right now. They could have built the technology that they want to spy on America with in the wings. They could have built it in the flaps, in the rivets. If you check every single rivet in the plane, how do you know that they can't track this plane? When he leaves, that plane's going with him. So you're giving this man $1 billion. He's made more money. There's a that shows how much money Trump makes every year. And right now they're up to about $11 billion. They're up to a lot of money. They've made so much money, him as the president, and he's talking about he ain't gonna take this stuff. And People News and Information Network is brought to you by Smith-Bey. Yeah, very good thing. And I'm telling you, I thank you and everyone else for this. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah. CNN 7 on YouTube and the War Report on Facebook or more. Thank you so much for your support. If we don't make it, this system make it. If you are not, thank you for your understanding. You're welcome. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'll be back next Sunday at 5 p.m. So thank you so much for listening. And we don't make it. Make it. Find it in your heart to keep pushing this program. Because we're going to do what we're going to do. Thank you so much. Have a great day today and a better day tomorrow.